guys? Welcome back to another episode of the world famous Barbell Brigade Talk Show. We got Silent Mike, we got JP today, and we also have a game that we're going to play. And you go first. So you can't say anything because we don't want to bias any of our answers.
But then I'm going to hear his answer.
But you're so weird, you're going to have your own answer.
Okay, cool. True.
So
I'm unique.
if you had to fuck, marry, or kill, squat, bench, and deadlift, which ones would it be? So kill means you'll never do that ever again. Fuck means you can live life without doing it at all, but you still like to hit it from here and there. And then marry is the one that you love and you cannot live without. Squat, bench, and deadlift.
Man, so we're talking big three here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, so it's got to be like a conventional or sumo. Can I do RDLs?
Yeah.
Throw it in there.
If we kill it though, if I kill it, can I still do
Oh,
RDLs?
No, if you kill it, it's gone.
Yeah, but any barbell, dumbbell, hip hinge, dude, throw it in there.
Yeah, you kill that one and all the variations attached to it.
Wow, that's a lot of variations.
Yeah.
Man. Squatting especially, like
Yep.
split squats and stuff. Man, that's tough. All right, no, I'm gonna throw
A
out.
split squat's kind of like a lunge.
It's squat. It's squat.
It's so squat.
Yeah,
Squat in the
squat's
name.
in the name,
It's
dude.
in the name.
Yeah, if it's in the
Yeah.
name, you're screwed.
All right.
No, okay, no. So I'm gonna kill the deadlift. I just think my back would probably like that the most, especially if it's the big three deadlift. But I still like my RDLs. But
Bye-bye
then-
hammies, dude.
yeah, man.
Hammyless.
Fuck's got to be squats because I can't not bench. My chest is a weak point, so I got to bench. Otherwise, it's not gonna look good.
Is bench your best exercise for chest?
I would say pressing movements. Yeah,
Because I saw you hitting 3 plates or more on the hammer strength thing.
So yeah, I
That's
really
pretty crazy.
like movements that allow you to have that like nice arc when you're pressing. So
Yeah.
you get that nice like lengthening, and then you can also like with a cable press load like that mid to short position too. So
So you don't
I
need
would
a
say
bench,
pressing.
really?
I mean, you don't need a barbell bench at all. It's a really good lift for basically challenging that lengthened position, that bottom position, because it's very stable, right? It just doesn't agree with my joints if I were to do it like twice a week. So my wrists, my elbows really don't like that. But I mean, I could train at like a lower RPE, but I like pushing myself on those top sets. So I like going to failure, and I want to be able to train more frequently with training with more intensity. So I'll do things instead like dumbbells, cables, machines. So it just lines up a little bit better for me. I think that's really like the cornerstone of a good program that's specific to somebody is how well it fits their structure and makes them recover even faster. So yeah.
So marry bench,
Marry bench,
kill deadlift,
kill deadlift,
fuck squats.
fuck squats.
What about you?
Buck squats.
Why? What? You love squats,
I squat.
It's because I said it.
I squat 2 working sets a week.
but you still love it.
I like them.
And your form
It's
is one of the best I've ever seen.
man.
My form's
You
pretty
crush it,
immaculate
dude.
and everything. When you
Yeah.
can't be strong, you got to lift pretty. That's my theory.
I can't do either in the squats.
Well, then you
There are
give
some
up.
people who are really strong though that don't.
No,
And
they
their-
don't.
Their form just looks crazy, but it works for them.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been crazy strong. I've built some strength, but I always try to lift really well.
You're being very modest. I
No,
feel.
it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
N-
It's true.
I feel like once you bench over 400 pounds, you can't say that anymore.
But it's just
Have
like
you pulled over 500? Okay, just think about the average.
The
You
average
said
for
that to
sure.
the average person.
the average for sure.
Yeah, but if we're talking, I guess, seasoned lifters.
Yeah, and like-
competitive power lifters.
Yeah, I've done it for 15 years.
Yeah.
And like when I started, I literally was training at the strongest gym on the planet,
What gym was that?
Super Training Gym.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I'm training with world record holders when I'm 22.
So you're just looking around the room like.
So I'm comparing myself to the top 5. That's all I
Yeah.
knew, right? That's like you learn to play basketball. Your neighbor Jay Rich, Jay Rich's kids aren't saying like I'm pretty good for a 5th grader. They're like, no, I want to go to D1, right? Like that's the environment you're in.
They were telling me some stories last night. I'm like, this is another life that I
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, it's just different perspectives. I'm marrying the deadlift.
Why
got
do
a
you
pull.
you love
Wow.
the deadlift so much?
Yeah, I really do.
You think deadlift's gonna make you some sandwiches?
I would like a wife.
Okay.
If I could throw in a 4th,
Will it be faithful?
I would like a female wife.
Yeah, you think deadlift's gonna be
marry.
faithful to you?
But since I'm single and can't do that, I'm gonna marry the deadlift.
Okay.
You know, second option for sure. Maybe I'm settling. You know, but don't we all a little bit? I don't know. And maybe we could dive into it in a YouTube video later with JP because everyone's so anti deadlift nowadays. Risk
What?
versus- no,
Who's
very.
Who
anti-deadlift?
put that video out and they said the risk to reward ratio?
One of the first was Oberst, who's a professional strongman.
And then after that,
everybody's
like, oh no, I'm not deadlifting anymore.
which is absolutely just the term. Not to go on a tangent, but the term risk to reward when we're talking about powerlifting and bodybuilding is one of the dumbest terms ever. If
Yeah.
you've ever played a real sport,
Why is it so dumb? I love that term.
Because powerlifting and bodybuilding, statistically, evidence-based, are the 2 safest sports on the planet besides like chess.
Yeah.
Like
look
like,
at any other like athlete.
That's like
you
telling
know.
LeBron James not to dunk.
Yeah.
A dunk for LeBron James, risk to reward, is way worse than a deadlift for a bodybuilder. Well, times a billion. Like if he gets undercut, his career's over.
I see.
More people have broken.
If it
the knee,
lands weird.
where he could just like kind of shoot a little baby layup.
Right,
You know,
right.
100%. Where like,
Yeah.
can you get hurt deadlifting? Sure, but the chances are pretty low because you're so concentrated on that movement. If you're throwing a baseball with me and I'm trying to do a deadlift in between catching a baseball and my concentration's off, sure, our risk
Might
goes
get a
up.
little, a little more risk.
Yeah, but I love deadlifting. I like moving a lot of weight, kind of like you. I like to go balls to the wall sometimes,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's like the movement you can just be a little bit primal, you know?
Yeah.
It feels kind of good. And honestly, for my traps, my forearms, my back, I've built a ton of muscle doing that. There's been lengthened periods where I don't do any other movements, and my back stays solid
Directors
enough.
is just super thick.
Yeah. My traps, like I don't do any shrugs. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
My traps just tend to grow, and so from both a performance standpoint, vertical jump, sprints, any kind of triple extension or double extension, I guess, if you guys want to get nerdy, any kind of hip hinge, I love it.
So marry deadlift.
And then probably fuck bench or kill bench.
Why kill bench? You're so good at bench.
I like it,
Yeah, I know.
but I don't.
It's a respectable bench.
It's never felt good. I've never, sometimes when I'm grooving in a deadlift, I'm just throwing around plates. I'm like, fuck, I'm strong. I've never really had that on bench. It always kind of same thing, wrists, shoulders,
Yeah.
everything's kind of always angry. And I like hammer strength.
You never
and all
tried the
that.
bounce bench before? You feel real strong.
I want to
just like that?
wrap a towel on it like the old school boys at the fucking
What is that?
commercials gym.
I don't know. When I first started lifting, like it just felt so strong to like unrack 135, and then you're kind of just like
Yeah.
just
You
like
just
bouncing
get one
it.
of these.
Yeah, and you're like
20.
20.
Just like right through.
but
Yeah,
then the
the
20th
bros.
one, you're like
The bros.
yeah.
like that.
But I mean, so it's funny because, oh man, I used to be part of that. Oh, you're not doing full range of motion, right?
Yep.
So that's not a real lift. But if you're challenging the muscle through where it's hardest anyways, which is at the bottom,
Yeah.
there's something to that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so they got some things right with that. And
Right.
they've actually done some studies now where showing like a partial range of motion
sure.
can be just as effective, if not more, than like a full range of motion.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's really cool to see that some bodybuilders got things right just based off feel.
Yeah. There's a
Right.
lot of guys, or just everyone's had that big motherfucker at their gym with a huge chest and does everything wrong. You know,
Wrong,
you're like,
right?
Yeah.
like, that dude's
Yeah.
jacked.
Yeah.
Like,
Just partials everything.
Yeah,
right?
is that going to work
Yeah.
for everybody? Maybe not. Should we teach? Maybe not. But like, there's something there.
Yeah, he's doing
I
something.
mean, there's guys that never hit biceps, but just from all the pulling movements, their biceps are fucking
Yeah.
insane.
I'm very jealous of people who have really good arm genetics. It just makes a physique, big shoulders, big arms,
Yeah.
and like a nice bicep insertion, triceps that come down to here. Your
Yeah.
arms just look huge.
Especially in a
I
short.
don't have those.
Yeah.
I got this big gap.
Oh, me too, man.
You know, some guys,
Yeah.
it's like nice
comes all the way
little
down.
tube.
Yeah.
Mine's like, there's a gap
Like
right
Callum von Moger, it basically inserts
Yeah.
like midway on his forearm.
Going to his wrist.
Yeah.
here. For me,
You're marrying bench.
no, I think I'm opposite to you guys.
Well, I mean,
Really?
your shoulders just like exploded, so I don't think.
Yeah,
you probably
I think
just
I'm
throw that out.
opposite. Where like maybe there's like something like self torturing about myself, but I think I want to marry squats.
I knew it.
I
As soon as
always
you said
just
that.
do things that I hate or I suck at. So
squats
I'm
are
actually
brutal.
really really good at pull ups,
Yeah.
and like my best pull up body weight was 50. I could do the
Dude,
best.
50 pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like chin over the.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my best with weights was 135, so 3 plates for 5, the full range. So that's my best, and probably my Instagram and TikTok would probably blow up if I just focused on that. But I'm so weird that I only post my squat, and that's literally like my weakest lift.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have this weird relationship
Not
with
anymore, dude. Your squats is moving.
it. Yeah, there's other people who are just
What
smashing.
are you moving
me.
on squats now?
Hit my best so far, 475 for 2.
I mean, that's a very respectable.
It took me like 10 years to get there.
But dude, but then you got a kid straight out of high school.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
true.
just, man.
Yeah.
You just can't play with these genetic freaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I think like I don't know what it is. Maybe that's why I also married Gio. Like she gives me a hard time, and I love her. So yeah, I'd marry squats, kill. I think I would kill bench too. I feel like it's probably one of the most worthless exercises. Because if you have a strong like overhead press or other press, like you never
Well,
need
from a powerlifting perspective, is that what
or
you're
even
saying?
like functional. Like why do I need to be so strong laying on the ground?
So I mean, like, there's still something to it in terms of being able to push across
Yeah.
your body, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
would say there's a little bit of function here.
Yeah, I guess.
You ever want to like close the door really hard, or
I could do flies. Maybe?
Yeah.
You could do flies. Pimp slap exercise.
Yeah. Or one of
back
those
deck
things.
all day long.
The thing where you go on the cable machine.
Oh,
The
Push-ups.
rotation, the oblique twist.
Yeah. Just close the door like this.
Yeah.
So I'd probably kill the bench. and then fuck the deadlift because occasionally I really enjoy deadlifting.
That's how I feel about deadlifting, honestly. Like if I had to, like if there wasn't an option to just kill another lift,
It's 2 fucks.
Yeah, 2 fucks. Yeah, I like deadlifting, and it just depends on where I'm at in my programming. Sometimes it feels really, really good. Like it flies up. Like I programmed in sumo a couple years ago, just for maybe 3-4 weeks, and I got up to 545 for a triple, and that was like RPE 8.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had ever really pulled sumo like that. And it wasn't even a real sumo. It was like a wide stance, so maybe even just like this.
Yeah.
And
like
it
a
felt,
narrow stance.
Yeah, it felt
Narrow
really
stance,
good. It felt really, really good. And that was just the first time I'd ever played with that stance before. And so if I was to powerlift, I think that I could probably pull like a 600 something.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
In a couple of mezzos.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Not to switch total topics, but you're talking about range of motion and people like scoffing at
Mm-hmm.
it. People scoff at you if you do a bench partial range or if you quarter squat. But what does every bodybuilder do?
They do.
Rack pulls.
Yeah, rack pull.
They'll do a rack pull or a block pull because it builds so much more muscle and I don't need to take it this whole way. I'm just working my lats.
Which
but
isn't
if I
even
bench
like-
a partial range,
People
I'm a
still
pussy.
do rack pulls. Is that an old school thing?
No, a lot of guys do, I feel like.
People
They
still
do?
really believe in rack
Yeah.
pulls, but if you look at the movement, it's really not working anything super effectively aside from, I mean, I could see use for it for like powerlifting and stuff like that, right? For maybe that partial range of motion. But then some people take it to such a large degree, or I should say a small portion of the range of motion that you're essentially not doing anything.
You're doing like a
at that
3-inch
point
shrug.
versus just taxing your CNS, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like basically fatiguing yourself
Yeah.
like crazy, pulling. Oh, I pulled 8 plates today on the rack pull. It's not going to transfer over to anything or build any muscle, but yeah, I did it, right?
Yeah, and you feel trash tomorrow too.
Yeah, you feel like garbage. Yeah, you're just like tanked, right? Your fatigue is just through the roof.
So for someone that's more bodybuilding focused, when you program in sumos, are you like extra intentional, like on glute activation, or do you still just like as a powerlifter, you're mainly focused more on the lift and the movement, more so like my getting a really good like quad pump or something, right? Like for you when you do sumos, is it more about the lift or is it more about the muscle?
So that was honestly just me wanting to move some heavy weight. I would never program in sumos purposefully for the goal of hypertrophy.
Yeah.
I just think that if you name any muscle that you're trying to work and you say you're going to do sumo for that, I could probably name some other exercises that are just a better choice, right?
Yeah.
That actually help to bias that musculature. Because I mean, if we look at sumo, it's a very integrated movement, and it's not necessarily taking any muscle through its full contractile range. And people say that it's really good for glutes and stuff like that. But the only reason people think it's good for glutes is because they're getting a really big sensation of a hard contraction of their glutes because they're already starting out in a semi-shortened position for the glutes. So you get to that top position, and it's like a crampy sort of hard contraction. Like, wow, this is really, really working my glutes. And I've literally heard trainers say it's like working your glutes in like a hip thrust or like, in that shortened position. But think about it, your joints are stacked at that point. You're not really working anything.
Even
so
that's like just a wrong bias and weird myth. Like a conventional works your glutes by like
way better than a sumo
EMG
would.
scans and everything. Yeah, like the hip flexion's 30-fold than especially a good sumo. And the one thing with the compounds and you're talking hypertrophy, like even more depends on your leverages.
Yeah.
Because if you have tiny little arms and you're doing a sumo, your knee is going to be flexed a lot more, so you'll work a lot more quads than someone who has hella long arms and is set. Someone can sumo from here. Like
Yes.
you're barely working anything.
Like
You
Max
see,
tuning, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Sour
very-
strips my
Does he
ass.
have very long arms?
What?
Isn't he just a lanky dude in
Yeah,
general?
he's lanky.
Yeah.
He on camera
He's
sometimes.
built to deadlift.
He'll be looking 6'6" on camera sometimes. What is he, 5'10"?
Yeah.
Yeah, but on camera sometimes I'm
But
like,
very
damn, that
long
fool
limbs.
looks tall.
Yeah. I mean, my sister has very long limbs as well, so she looks very tall
Yeah.
in comparison. So
Yeah.
everybody's always like, dude, how tall are you? Because I'm standing next to her. Are you like 5'3", man? It's like, no, she's like got tall
Yeah,
proportions.
big old femurs.
Yeah, exactly.
If you were to marry a chick, like let's say you had...
What do you say if? Can we say when? You don't think any woman would ever love me?
If you were finally able to find a mate...
Can we do a Barber Brigade dating show?
Oh, that'd be tight.
Yeah.
That would be tight.
Speed dating? Yeah.
What happened?
Speed dating?
Yeah.
That would be tight, dude.
But you could only...
Fit chicks only.
You could only... The game show is no talking, and it's only through lifting that you trying to see who they are as a person, and then you
Yeah.
have to go on a date after.
We train together, so
Yeah.
I'll see if she loads my
Yeah.
weights and spots me automatically or not.
and
Gives
you,
me some wah
and you get to see if she
Yeah.
pulls sumo, conventional,
Yeah.
and then later on, when you see a movement, you say what that tells you about that person.
I'm gonna sound like such a prick, but I could probably choose a lady through that. Like I want them to be athletic. I want them to move good. You know, I can tell by how people move
I
if
actually
they're
think you
comfortable.
can tell like a fair amount about a person, especially with how hard they can push on like
Yeah,
a lift,
yeah.
right?
If they're
If they can train
soft,
to failure or something,
they're
yeah.
only taking selfies. You know,
Let's say
tells
the-
you a lot about them.
Let's say the chick. I'm gonna just do a quick
Sipping
example.
BCAAs. I know that shit don't work.
you know.
No, a quick example. Let's say you have a chick, right? She comes in and then on this speed date, pops in headphones, goes straight on the barbell.
Yeah.
Versus a chick that comes in and does maybe like a 10-minute mobility session first.
Yeah, we don't foam roll in this household. My
Oh, that's
wife is
fucked
not
up,
touching
dude.
a foam roller, dude.
So you'll never find like a wife like me.
I mean, there's some research that shows it could help with temporary like
Yeah,
pain,
Mike.
Yeah.
right?
Same with popping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we're talking about
What, like
pain,
popping like this?
no, like
Oh.
But long term, it's really not going to.
you're not doing. You're not doing. What I don't like is you're not doing it. It's the same as deadlift and a bodybuilder. So if you come to me and I want to be IFBB and I say, JP, I'm going to deadlift. And you're like, okay, as long as you
You
make
need
progress.
steroids too, buddy.
Yeah, that I definitely need. That's why I'm talking to you two after the show. If you love the deadlift and you go hard in it and you progress in it over time as well as getting your other things, there's no reason to say don't deadlift. And I think it's the same as a foam roller. Is if you know why and how.
If you like
Sure.
it,
If
yeah.
you're telling me you're massaging your fascia and stretching some muscle,
I've
get
heard
the
that.
fuck out of here.
Yeah,
well, that's
I've-
what it's called. It's
yeah.
called myofascial release.
Sounds very smart.
Which is literally
And I
just
like
wrong.
it.
You need like 35,000 pounds to damage your fascia. And you think this $9.99 foam roller from Amazon?
You're not trying to damage your fascia. You're trying to release it.
Yeah, dude, I'm not a piece of raw dough. I'm a fucking human. You're not kneading me into pain-free life.
breaking apart the fascia.
Yeah.
All the hot chicks out there that foam rolls, I'm
You,
sorry.
we ain't getting married.
Yep.
You,
Silent
you
Mike
can
doesn't
foam
like
roll
you
it.
guys.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just, don't try and make things up that it helps with. Right.
Right, and
So,
if
yeah.
you're an absolute dime piece with a lot of money and you foam roll, just don't do it
Then
in
you can
front
make
of me.
things up.
Yeah,
Okay.
just don't do it in front of me and we'll still get married.
Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.